what I want to go over here is showing how to export and create your background that you're going to use for your animation. And you can have your background be honestly anything you want, but the really important thing is that your two sides match, so that when it translates over, there's no sort of gap. And one of the ways that you could see if it's going to line up is just going into Photoshop and turning on your ruler, and you can do that by View and Rulers. And if I turn off all my layers, we'll just see, except for this green one. Turn off those guys. If I use a guide, and I can do that by clicking and dragging down from my rulers to the top, I can see, I've got one in the exact same place, that this is going to be lined up perfectly. And this is important because when I bring it into After Effects, the way that's going to work is it's going to offset the image and come back right to this section here. So it's going to take this side and repeat it right along here as a way to loop the background animation. You can do this in whatever program you want. If for some reason you can't see your two sides, like this, one trick you could use is if you are, and I'm making my image much wider than my original one. So this is 1920 times 2. So this is, we go to image size. This is not inches, let's look at pixels, 1340 by 1180. And that's because I want to be able to scan through my entire image. And so here, one way to see if it loops perfectly is go to Filter, Other, and go to Offset. And what this will do is you can see, if I set this to 0, it's going to put it back in the same position. But if you have wraparound set and you move it over, you'll be able to see if there's any sort of gap as you're going. Let's see, set this back to 0. If you put your mouse in here and then wheel, so it's moving it over just a little bit this way. And that's pretty good. Like, we don't see any sort of gaps there. If I turn these back on, we go to cancel, turn these back on, turn these back on. We go to Filter, Other, Offset, and when I move this down, well, oh, it's selected on that entire layer. I need to make sure I have the whole group selected. Go to Filter. One of the things that happens sometimes if you have it as a group is it tries to, it's not going to let you select it. So what you can do is duplicate your group, Command J to duplicate your group, right click, and go to Merge. So it makes it one image, and then go to Filter, Other, and Offset. And it's got this little line here, which you don't need to worry about. That's going to go away in your animation. You could, of course, say this is how you wanted to work. You could, of course, go in and select your image, go down, and you could always use something like the healing brush tool on your layer and just make sure this is correct inside here. Just go over a little bit. This would be one way to quickly repair your layer. And we'll get a perfect loop from one side to the other. This is one method of working. Now if we had, but you could also do it however you want. Like this will match perfectly with this side as we go. So once you have this, you can go File, Save As, and I'm going to say this is a duplicate, background, forest, and that totally works. From here, we're going to work on compositing everything together in After Effects, and we'll go that in the next video.